All right, so the discussion for today comes from our reader mailbag. If you guys ever want to ask us a question, email us, contact@whatsgoodgames.com. We may get to your question, we might not. Just a disclaimer. Don't be mad if we don't get to your question. It has nothing to do with the goodness of your question. It really just has to do with what we have going on that week and if we have another spot filled. But this one we thought was particularly interesting. It reads, Mario plus Rabbids is an amazing and weird crossover. What 2 franchises would you like to see crossover and in what genre?
Anyone?
I'm just going to agree with his original statement that Mario plus Rabbids is a weird,
It is a really weird, but it works
charming crossover that is a really random genre for it.
You're not going to get off that easy, Steiner.
No, I'm...
Yeah.
So I have notes and I'm messing. It's like all noodling up here right now. I'm just like
it's noodling.
It is.
So
But Brittany said she had an idea.
I have one because this is something I've wanted for quite some time now. Not necessarily the crossover, but what one game would bring to the other one. So something like Grand Theft Auto and Harvest Moon. Just think about it. Think about it. It makes perfect sense. So Harvest Moon and its gameplay is so addicting, and I love the whole premise of it. Think of like Grand Theft farming. Like,
wait, so are you like jumping other farmers and stealing their horses?
Absolutely. Why not? Well, you don't have. Well, yes. So here's what I want: is I've always wanted a mature themed Harvest Moon game, because that game is like, it's like you're living another life. They throw you in this shit show, a plot of land, and it's like, hey, good luck, go pick some herbs and sell them and maybe make some money, and then maybe you can buy some potato seeds and then befriend everyone, get a chicken, marry someone, have a child. And that's great, and it's actually really fun. It's a very great escape. However, it's always such a very child-friendly game that and this is something I really liked about Stardew Valley is it tackles some more mature adult issues.
You want to murder
phenomenal.
people.
If someone tried to steal my chicken, if my wife cheats on me or my husband cheats on me, I want to be able to do something.
But there's infidelity in Harvest Moon?
No. But I want like these things to be
you
like...
You want infidelity in Harvest
Moon. I want some deep shit to happen. If one of my cows dies...
I want to be virtually cheated on because real life's not...
But no, I think there's it's because you are so absorbed in this other life that if they could include some mature themed and topics and whatever, I think it could really open up like a real branch. Like I might want to go to the bar one night and get shit faced, which is something you can have alcohol in Harvest Moon games and Story Season games. But well, I don't know if you can anymore. You used to be able to.
You can in Stardew Valley.
Or the other thing is, you romance people in these games. But the romance is you give them like a turnip a day and they're your best friend. But, make it more realistic. Give me dialogue options.
Can I give you a turnip every day, Andrea?
Show me some sex.
Does it have to be a turnip?
No,
it
whatever
depends.
gift you want.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
It can be a walnut,
I like gifts.
a potato, an egg,
I like eggs.
of milk.
I'll give you
every
an egg
day.
a day.
An egg a day.
Notice.
Oh,
I'm gonna
get my friend.
I'm gonna send you an egg every day. So essentially, I want Harvest Moon with mature.
Could it be
themes.
chocolate eggs though?
Yeah. I'm
no.
gonna send you a picture of a chocolate egg every day.
What? Is that how you get your affection with Andrea Renee? Send her a picture of a chocolate egg every day.
Please don't start sending me pictures of eggs. I don't need that in my life.
So that's what I want. I wanted that for a while. Make it happen, someone.
So I had one thought, and I'm probably going to come up with other combinations here, but my first instinct naturally went to a Mass Effect / Dragon Age crossover in the form of a Dream Daddy.
Wait, what?
In the form of like a dating simulator, like just a straight up dating simulator.
So you want a Mass Effect dating sim or you want a Dragon Age dating sim?
The crossover is Mass Effect and Dragon Age, meaning you'd have characters from both franchises.
So it'd be a BioWare dating sim.
Pretty much. And then like made in a similar way that Dream Daddy was. Like I like the style that they did, art style, and I like that they threw in some random elements like when you're verbally battling over children and it's sort of like a Pokemon battle.
Interesting. If it was a VR BioWare dating sim, would you play it?
I would play it on my regular computer, looking at the screen the same way that I play all of my other dating simulators currently.
So you would have to pick one BioWare boy?
Pretty
or would
much.
you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or unless it's like, actually no, because Dream Daddy, technically, I banged the version of you.
Oh, you did?
But I don't think you're going to romance me.
No.
So.
He's like, no,
you
no
don't
chance.
even know, but I don't think so. So like, I think technically you could do that, like where you sleep with multiple of them, but you pick one ultimate
So
has Bando or waifu.
here's a question, because if you look at the Dragon Age and Mass Effect games, they're kind of, you could think of them as one big giant romance sim.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of other stuff on the way.
So you would just get rid of all of that, and it would all be about
Just
building.
for if we're talking about a standalone little side piece. Not in that way, but like in the way
But
that
in that
Mario
way.
plus Rabbids
Okay.
is its own weird little offshoot. This would be its own weird little offshoot. I'm not talking about getting rid of the Dragon Age franchise or Mass Effect franchise entirely.
No.
But
Okay.
I think this would be like a fun little rando thing.
Fair enough.
Okay, I think I could be into it. I don't really like Sims. They're not my thing. I used to like them way back when I played on PC, like ages ago. But I see what you're going for.
Yeah.
I think I would do something much more action oriented. I really love what Fortnite has done with combining third person shooting with tower defense. Because most tower defense games are 2D. At least most of the ones that I have played recently. If you know of a 3D good tower defense game, hit a girl up and let her know. But I would like to do like kind of like that 3D tower defense base building, but in a different universe. So like maybe like it would be really cool if Fortnite crossed with Paragon, like the two games crossed together. Is that bad?
That is such an Andrea answer. No, it's not bad.
You talked about Harvest Moon.
Well, that was a very Brody
But
answer.
she also did GTA, whereas like yours is closer to mine, where it's like it's just from the same developer.
Well, I mean, but they're two wildly different types of games. But like if I could bring like the heroes that I know and have played so many hundreds of hours with in Paragon, like into this other world where it could be more of a cooperative experience instead of just like kill all the minions and
That's
kill
just
all
like
the
a
heroes.
skinning thing, right? You just want like basically Fortnite, but with the skins from Paragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't mind
Dear
having
Epic,
I
I
wouldn't-
think this is doable.
I wouldn't mind having the objectives that are in Paragon of having to like, you know, with the wave clearing and the tower destroying and all of that.
Mhm.
Like the MOBA part of it, how it's more action oriented and it's more about like what?
No, sorry, no, keep going. I'm just
Oh.
like this is
You-
when I point at you, it's like I have something.
You have a mind. You have an
Come-
idea
come
in
back
your
to
mind.
me when you're done talking.
When you're done talking. So I just don't like the enemies in Fortnite. I think the husks are kind of like generic and I don't think they're original. I don't think they're inspired. I think they're such throwaway enemies, but I think not that the enemies inside Paragon are better, but at least the minions and like the jungle creeps and you know, they've got, you know, the Orb Prime Guardian are like have a little bit more going on stylistically from an art perspective than the husks do. So I guess I just like the art style in Paragon much better.
That's
But
a crossover. That counts.
Yeah.
When you were talking about like the objectives carrying over, my immediate thought was it would be interesting to add that to the PUBG mode, to the Battle Royale mode, to have more objectives, because then it would be more like what you were saying, where it's encouraging you to be more active and not really just like hide in a house until everybody dies.
Right. No, that's what I would like. Something more Hunger Gamesy, where there's like specific caches that you can all go for, and they're like timed, or something that's on the map that incentivizes you from laying in a bathtub and winning by doing nothing, which to me is like complete bullshit. The idea that could even happen, that they wouldn't time you out after a certain amount of minutes of you not moving at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is when we talked about this as a discussion point. I didn't have enough time to properly think of something that would be a really great mashup. But every time we do these discussions on the show, as soon as we're done taping, I'm like, oh, I thought of the most genius idea. Why don't I talk about that on the show? So I know I'm going to think of something as soon as we hit the stop button.
That's
I
okay.
haven't thought of like a crossover game with it, but I would like to see, just because we were talking about BioShock earlier and it got me thinking about how much I loved that game and how much I love that art style. And I was like, I'd love to see that in different forms. Like, so it's going to sound really weird, but like a BioShock JRPG, but like with pixelated art style. I would actually kind of like that.
Why does it have to be pixelated?
I don't, because I think it would be.
I think
can
that
you
would ruin.
imagine
I
our
think that
little-
would ruin
can
the
you
art style.
Get our friend Papa Joe over there.
So you like the design, not the art style.
No, I love the art style too. I'm just saying I like mixing things up. I like taking different art styles and applying them to different franchises. So I just think it would be interesting to see it. I think that Papa Joe, our big daddy friend here, would make a really adorable pixel art character.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I guess I just like I'm so over retro art styles.
Oh,
I'm
always a big fan.
You're not alone. There are lots of people out there that love it. I think I'm just like I like stuff that's a little bit more original, and I loved the art direction and the tone of BioShock, and I would love to see more from the original BioShock, from Rapture, like specifically.
Yeah.
I really like, not to say that Infinite or BioShock 2
Columbia.
weren't like good games in their own way. Well, I mean, BioShock Infinite more than 2, but
I actually don't think I played BioShock 2. I played Infinite.
you could probably never play it and it's okay. It's not one of those things you would need to go back.
This is an interesting
play.
topic, and I feel like if you do come up with something after we press stop, we can revisit this maybe in a few weeks too, because I could think of some interesting ones that we could talk about.
Do you have one off the top of your head right now?
I was thinking like Resident Evil and Skyrim could be kind of interesting. Some people
Whoa,
like,
like an open world Resident Evil game?
yeah, and some people might be like, oh, so basically Fallout. No, there's no zombies.
No.
In the Fallouts. Well, maybe there are.
There are
I didn't play it.
ghouls.
Yeah.
Ghouls are zombie-ish.
And so this is why I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to some of these
Close.
upcoming zombie titles we have, is because I've always craved like an open world zombie not survival horror. I don't really want to have to survive. I don't want to have to like eat food to like live and play this game. That just stresses me out. But more of like, you know, there's this huge world. It's all gone to shit. There's this T virus that's broken out. And here's all these like towns that are in settlements that are scattered throughout this huge world. Like go find, explore, and just find some people holed up, some people living their life. I don't know. I think it'd be awesome. That's what I want. That's another one I want.
That could be really cool.
I'm getting all hot and bothered thinking about it.
I noticed.
Like the wheels are spinning. I was trying to think of something because Mario, when you think about Mario plus Rabbids, the Rabbids games are like as far away from real-time strategy or I mean, like what's the genre for XCOM that I'm not getting right?
It's not
it's
top turn-based strategy.
Turn-based. Yeah, that's
turn-based.
it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was missing there. So none of the Rabbids games are like turn-based games. Mario also. No.
None
I
of
mean,
them,
there's a
yeah.
couple like iterations
3DS
that
and-
incorporate
yeah.
some turn-based stuff, but I mean, at its core, that's a platforming game, right?
Right.
And so like what they did was kind of create this genre that neither of these IPs were ever thought that they could be in, and they've made this really unique hybrid thing. And I was trying to think of what could be that thing, and maybe I'm just not creative enough, you guys.
It's not like I feel like that game was concepted off a really bad acid trip because I don't know how you could possibly think. Number one, to put those two franchises together is one step, right? And then to be like, but wait, it's gonna be a turn-based strategy like XCOM, like what? And then somebody greenlit this game, like come on, like it's and I love. That's not me crapping on the game. I think it's wonderful, but I just am like, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in the room where that meeting, like where that was pitched, because I can't imagine that the initial reaction was like, totally, that'll work.
What about, I'm just throwing this out there, Andrea, like Mass Effect and Call of Duty?
like
They're
a
both
first-person
shooters,
Mass
though.
Effect shooter.
First person, like super story driven cinematic experience.
I would love that. I would play the shit out of that. That would be amazing.
You would want it to be first person?
Yes.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, of all the things that Mass Effect did well, the third-person shooting was not really one of them.
I always had a thing where I kind of wished it would stay third person for most part, and then in combat, like you would, I don't know, like tap on your Omni thing and then be like bloop, and it would go to first person shooting.
But what if it was like Destiny, where I mean, if there was like a Mass Effect Destiny, that would be way better. Actually, now that I'm saying this out
See,
loud,
gotta get the wheels turning.
because imagine you've got the Omni tool, right? The Omni Blade or whatever that you're meleeing with,
Yep.
or depending on which character you are, maybe you're using something different. But because in Destiny, it's all first person until you use your special. and then it briefly goes third person for a second. So you could potentially map special powers, like if you have your biotic powers or whatever on your character, then it would briefly go third person, but for the most part all the shooting mechanics were first person.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Imagine if you actually got to see the sniper like in through the actual eyepiece instead of
Yeah. No,
that could be so good.
This just makes me think of
now I want
Anthem.
Mass Effect Destiny.
See?
And I'm like, yeah. Well, Destiny tries a little bit, I think, to be. I always think my hunter looks remarkably like a Quarian.
Some of the armor, yeah. Well, it's very like, you know, sci-fi in that sense. But like there's none of the story
or,
depth,
like, really
right?
the
That's in
characters that you
Mass
like
Effect
that
that
much.
appears in Destiny. Like
Yeah.
imagine going to a social space like the Tower. I mean, they've got this, you know, in Mass Effect it's like the Citadel and various other spots, but having those conversations, having the graphics be of the quality that Bungie made, having the skill trees that Mass Effect or the conversation trees that Mass Effect does be in like the NPC with the NPCs in the way that you interact with the
That would be
NPCs in
cool.
Destiny.
Yeah, especially with the reputation system that they have.
Yeah.
If it tied in there.
We're on to something, ladies.
Oh my gosh, if Bungie and BioWare can just get together
Make
and
some
make
babies.
this happen.
Honestly, Bungie could do this on their own, and they could do it with Destiny, but not the way it's built right now.
But that's why they need to, you know, maybe like get together, have some drinks.
Have some drinks with BioWare. Have some drinks with ArenaNet. Make a sweet baby.
We're all over it.
So clearly, hopefully listening. Hopefully listening. That's 3 words that
English.
shouldn't
Yeah.
go together.
All of the adverbs.
When you've been listening to this discussion, you've maybe thought of something yourself. We'd like to hear it. Leave a comment on this video if you're watching it on youtube.com/whatsgoodgames. Tweet it to us. Put it on our Facebook page in the comments there. Or, of course, you know, email us. Let us know what your mashups would be. We'd love to hear them. But thank you so much for listening. And one last thing. If you guys have not yet it's okay. You can keep playing with the Big Daddy. If you have not yet subscribed to our podcast, we would love it if you would. If you haven't left a rating or review, we love that as well. The girls are now playing with the toys on set. It's going off the rails. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you again. Have a great weekend, everybody. Mwah.
Bye.
We love you. Bye. I'm waving my arms. Okay.